Marie and Pierre Curie. Marie was born on November 7, 1867, as Maria Saloma Sklodowski in Warsaw, Poland. Maria was the third child out of 5. Maria graduated from high school with a gold medal. Maria then served as a governess in Warsaw in this house. During this time, Maria experimented in her cousin's laboratory. In 1891, Maria traveled to Paris and became known as Marie. Marie received her physics degree at Sorbonne and a second degree in mathematics in 1894. In 1894, Marie was offered a grant to study magnetism of steel, which was where she met Pierre. Pierre Curie was 35 years old when he met Marie and worked in Paris for the School of Industrial Physics and Chemistry. Pierre Curie was born in 1859 in Paris, France. At the age of 18, he graduated from Sorbonne. Pierre was unable to achieve a higher degree due to a lack of money, but instead worked as a laboratory instructor. In 1880, Pierre and his older brother Jacques discovered something about crystal. Pierre and Jacques demonstrated that an electric potential was generated when crystals were compressed through piezoelectricity. In order to accomplish their experiment, they created the electrometer, which used crystals to measure electric currents. Marie and Pierre met in the spring of 1894 when Marie was offered a grant to study the magnetism of steel. But the Lippmann factory was overcrowded, and Marie needed more space to work. So she asked one of her friend's husbands, and he suggested that Marie contact Pierre for lab space. Marie and Pierre worked well together and were married on July 26, 1895 in Paris. Marie and Pierre had 2 girls whose names were Eve and Irene. At first, Marie studied the magnetism of steel. Marie then studied uranium and the rays it gave out, along with the rays given out from other elements. Marie also studied pitchblende. Pitchblende is a mineral consisting of uranium oxide and other trace elements. Pitchblende is 13 times more radioactive than uranium. Marie tested different samples of pitchblende, which gave off powerful radiation even though the uranium had already been taken out. Therefore, she concluded that there must be some unknown element in the pitchblende. It is now known as polonium. It was named polonium after Marie's birthplace, Poland. Discovered a second element, which is now known as radium. Marie and Pierre named radium after the Latin word ray. Radium is 1 million times more radioactive than uranium. In order for Marie and Pierre to experiment more with their 2 new elements, they had to be isolated from the pitchblende. In order to do this, Marie and Pierre ordered 10 tons of pitchblende with uranium already extracted and dumped it in their lab. They then treated the pitchblende with chemicals, hoping to separate out any other radioactive substances. Marie then stirred the pitchblende in a large cauldron with a long metal rod. Marie and Pierre did this in less than ideal conditions. They worked in an old, leaky shed that was either extremely cold or hot depending on the season. They worked for 4 years trying to melt down large portions of pitchblende and treating it with different chemicals. In result to working with such radioactive materials for the amount of years the Curies did, they began to develop sores in their fingers. They were continuously tired. Pierre's joints ached and Marie lost weight. One day, as an experiment, Pierre put radium on his arm to see the effects of radiation on skin. He put radium on his arm for a solid 10 hours to see what would happen. At first, everything was okay, but as time went on, Pierre began to scab and was very sore. Marie and Pierre won 2 Nobel Prizes. The first, in November of 1903, they won a Nobel Prize in Physics. And in November 1911, Marie won a Nobel Prize in Chemistry. In 1906, tragedy struck. Pierre was ran over by a horse-drawn carriage. Most people say that he was already sick from the effects of radiation when that happened. Marie became ill with severe anemia, and her bones had become weak after all the years of work with radiation. She died in a sanatorium in the French Alps on July 4, 1934.